Hi, everybody. We are officially done with Christmas. And done with Christmas, it's time to move on. But we have one more big event in this holiday season, and that is, of course, New Year's Eve. Although it is a lot easier to take New Year's Eve than it is Christmas because it is completely acceptable to be completely drunk on that day. I mean, sure, you could be drunk on Christmas, but, it's usually frowned upon. So, let's talk about some New Year's Eve events. So for the next several days, we are going to talk about some interesting places to go for New Year's Eve. Before we do that, if this is your first time here, hi. I'm Gretchen, the Tipsy Travel Gal. I am a licensed esthetician and a travel agent, and it is my goal to eat, drink, and spa my way around the world. I want to, of course, bring you along with me, show you some really cool things to do, some interesting places to see, and, of course, some delicious food and drink. My overall goal is to get you to want to travel as well, whether that be domestic or international. So if this sounds like something that would interest you, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I've got my little GoFundMe that I'm going to include the link in the description of this video. If you've got some extra dollars to spend, I would truly appreciate that as well. And I really can use it this holiday season. COVID and the flu and RSV completely wiped out my business, so I'm hurting. But, if you've got a couple dollars, I would appreciate it. Let's talk New Year's Eve. So pretty much every major city has a New Year's Eve display. I've personally been to several around the world. I want to focus on things that are either unique locations or they have special events going on. I want to show you some different places you can celebrate if you ever decide to travel during the holidays, where you want to be for New Year's Eve. Now, just as a heads up, I live very close to Chicago, and I used to live in the city of Chicago for almost a decade. So I, of course, have experienced the Chicago New Year's Eve. I have also experienced Times Square on New Year's Eve. Now, if you don't like crowds, none of these things I'm going to be talking about with you, you are going to enjoy. Just an FYI, okay? Because there's always a lot of people that go out on these nights. If you don't like being around drunk people, probably it's just best to either stay home or do something more low-key, like a nice dinner or something like that, or go out to a nice restaurant where there's a nice party, but there will always be people drinking there as well. Whenever people find out that I have done Times Square on New Year's Eve, the first thing they ask me was, how was it? Was it exciting? I will tell you that I am very glad I have done it once, but it was also one of the most miserable experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I would never do it again. However, if you want to go, I can help you get there and, give you some tips and some pointers. But yeah, it's, there are a lot of drunk people. You're out in the cold for a very long time, and you're probably not going to be anywhere near the ball drop. But let's move on to some interesting places to experience New Year's Eve around the world. So I just looked at today's list, and I will tell you they're all in Europe. I do have other places that are not in Europe, but today's list is all in Europe. So we're going to be hanging around on that continent. We're going to start in Dublin, Ireland. You don't want to miss the Luminosity New Year's Eve light shows. Dublin actually has like a 3-day festival filled with concerts and parades. This year, they're even going for a world's record for the largest Celtic drum session. So you can participate if you want to do so. I don't think the requirement is to know how to play the Celtic drums. But they're like, hey, you want to participate? Come join us. But Luminosity is a 3D event where they project 3D images up against the most famous buildings in Dublin. And it's actually really amazing. I would highly recommend YouTubing it. Just say Luminosity Dublin. There was one where it looks like they were painting the building. And like I said, it's all in 3D. It's just amazing. I tell you, Dublin is probably going to be on my list in future years. I won't do Luminosity New Year's Eve until I've done St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, but it looks like just one gigantic 3-day party. And, I'm there for that. Let's move on to one of my favorite places on earth, Paris. Now, you'll be shocked to know that the fireworks are not at the Eiffel Tower. The main fireworks in Paris are on the Champs-Élysées, and they are fired over the Arc de Triomphe. Now, having been there, I think I've shown some pictures recently. I will make sure I put them up. That has got to be a sight to behold. They clearly shut down the Champs-Élysées to do this. If I was going to be in Paris for New Year's Eve, I would probably go to the Champ de Mars with some champagne and maybe some crudités and watch the light show on the Eiffel Tower, and then make my way over to the Champs-Élysées for the big finale and the fireworks show. So we've talked about Paris. Let's move on to Berlin. Now, as with most places, there are parties that go on all over the city, but in Berlin, the place to be is the Brandenburg Gate. There is a huge open air party there that stretches from the Victory Tower to the Brandenburg Gate. We're talking 2.5 kilometers in total. It is lined with food trucks and drinks. It is a huge party with live music and, of course, culminating in fireworks over the Brandenburg Gate. To attend this event, it is €10. That is not bad. Of course, you will have to pay for your own food and drink. If you're looking for some fun in Germany, that is definitely the place to be. Moving on to another beer-heavy location, let's go to Prague. Now, Prague is actually quite interesting. They do have fireworks, but they are a city that is focused on something for everyone. So they have intimate dining experiences. They have large parties. They also have it where you can jump from bar to bar, almost like a beer crawl, and sampling Prague beer. Now, they make it very clear that there are a lot of people that are going to be in the bars. There are some bars that allow you to make reservations, but not many. But it's going to be a very busy place. Remember, Czech Republic loves their beer. But for the big show, there are 3 different places that you can view Prague's main fireworks. That is Old Town Square, which is where one of the largest Christmas markets are at, as well as Wenceslas Square, which is where another one of the huge markets is at, or anywhere along the Vltava River. River cruises are definitely something to think about because they are basically shooting them right over the river. If you choose to go to a dining experience or a party, never fear, almost all the establishments arrange their parties so that you can go see the fireworks either from their location or return. Now, for a little bit different of experience from the ones we've talked so far, let's go to Vienna. Now, everyone here knows my love of Vienna. I spent my birthday there in 2021. I will honestly say probably one of my happiest birthdays of all time. But I only spent Christmas and my birthday there, my birthday being the 23rd of December, and then of course Christmas, and then we moved on to Venice and then Rome where we spent New Year's Eve. So I didn't get to experience, and I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, Silvesterfad, which already gives me glee talking about this event. That word translates roughly to New Year's Trail. Basically, the entire city gets involved with this. It runs from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 2 a.m. There are 8 locations on this New Year's Eve trail. 7 of them are within inside the city center. There are stages and food booths set up at each location. So you essentially go from place to place and party a little bit, have something to drink, have something to eat, and then you move on. Now, this is an entirely open air party. There are no tickets required. You just have to buy your food and your alcohol. And believe me, there's plenty of that. There's food, champagne, beer, and of course, sausage. And one of the things that made me laugh the most was when I was reading an article written by someone who lives in Vienna that if you can't find sausage on New Year's Eve, it's a sign of the apocalypse. And then, like I said, there is live music, there are DJs, there is clubbing, there is waltzing, and there are concerts going on. So, I got to say I am almost disappointed that I moved on, but not so, because I actually had a lovely time in Rome on New Year's Eve. But Definitely something to check out if you're ever thinking about traveling to Vienna for the holidays. Now, interestingly enough, the next place we're going is also the first place I went after my birthday, which is Venice. Now, of course, the most popular place to celebrate New Year's Eve is in St. Mark's Square. Festivities start around 10:30 p.m., culminating with the fireworks starting at midnight, as well as St. Mark's Campanelli bell tower ringing 12 at midnight. And having heard that bell ring, that would be just magnificent to hear that bell ringing while the fireworks are going off. Some other options, you can do a lagoon cruise to watch the fireworks, or you can take a gondola ride and be in the main canal area to watch the fireworks over the square. Any way you'd see it, you're in Venice. I personally have taken a gondola ride, loved it. And let's end today in Athens. Now, there are many parties going on throughout Athens. Syntagma Square is one of the bigger places to go to have a party. There's live music and DJ sets. And for some reason, a lot of these parties have ice skating. Don't know why, but they do, as well as a huge fireworks show. But who else has a fireworks show is they do shoot fireworks over the Parthenon. So one of the best ways to see this show is from the rooftop bars that surround the Acropolis. Now, you're going to need reservations. I think, and at this point, you probably couldn't get them if you wanted to try. But it is amazing to sit there and having a party, having drinks, you have seats, and you can watch the fireworks go over the top, over one of the oldest buildings in the world. And that, my friends, is today's roundup of places to go for New Year's Eve, exclusively in Europe today. If there's any place you'd like to add to this list, please, you can either comment below. You can also go to any one of my social media pages. I am Tipsy Travel Gal on all of the major ones. You can also go to my website, tipsytravelgal.com. And if you look at the menu at the top, all the way to the right, there is a contact me link where you can send me an email. So feel free to ask me any questions about the content I've got, or if you would like to add some place to go for New Year's Eve, I would love to hear it. Remember, I've got a couple more days of this, so I may be hitting one of your favorites in there somewhere, but feel free to contact me if you like. Again, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And until the next time, bye.